Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply. USAA.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins. And Bill Flitter.
Hey, everybody. Before we jump into the podcast, Bill and I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, teachhoops.com, for coaches who want to get better. That's what allows us to keep the lights on. And, Bill and I are not making any money by doing this, but we thought it was important to give a big shout out to youth coaches and to help them in this process. So if you're looking for some resources this summer, looking to become a better coach for your son or daughter, teachhoops.com can help you do that. And like I've said before, Bill and I are going to be coming up with some other things. But in the meantime, go over and check out teachhoops.com. 14-day free trial. You can go kick the tires around, and let's head off the podcast. Here we go. All right. Welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops, episode 8. We're not on it. We're not the double digits yet, Coach.
One more though, bud.
I know. I'm pretty excited. About where this is going. So what's today's topic? We're just going to jump in. Let's just
jump in. Let's go. Today we're going to talk about the most underutilized skills from or under-taught skills that coaches. Is that the right way to say it? Underutilized or under-taught skills in youth basketball. How about that?
And you came up with 10 of them.
10 of them.
Wow.
And number 10 is for the coaches, so themselves.
So 9 plus. Okay.
9,
all right, go ahead. I'll jump in.
1.
This is we take turns coming up with topics. This is Coach's topip. So
okay, so this is my new favorite one. I don't know. I've been coaching not quite as long as you, but I've been coaching for 15 years, and it hasn't been until the last, I would say, 2 years, maybe even started over COVID. You ready? You're gonna love this. This is one of yours too. 2-footed layups, under taught skill.
Yep.
We talked about layups earlier, right? Off
did.
air, and we were talking about the traditional teaching them how to do, but a 2-footed layup.
100%, 1,000% agree. And you know why? Because you look under control and you get the call. You get the call when you're under control. That's the difference. Right. It's like, unless you can go dunk it, if you can dunk it, then you don't have to necessarily. You can go off 2 feet and dunk it. And that's different.
But we're talking youth hoops, right? So 2-footed layups, and a lot of kids you see when they start, they do the 2-footed, and then we force them. No, you got little Johnny. You got to do the 1-handed layup, right? No, 2 feet are fine. Yeah. It's not one or the other. It's both, right? So just to be clear on that, it's like it's not one or the other. It's both.
It's both.
If you're wide open, just go in. You got to break away.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even Steph Curry even does that when no one's contesting him. He gets a steal. Yes, you don't have to go off 2 feet.
You're contested. Finish with a 2-footed layup.
Yep. And I tell them, I when I was a youth coach, when they do that, and I said, you can earn 2 Gatorades when you do that. And they go, what do you mean? I go, you can earn 2 Gatorades. You can earn one by just doing it, and you can earn the other one by getting fouled or scoring on the foul. Because if they do it and they shot fake, people go up, and I go, you can get a foul call every time. And by that late elementary school, middle school, I had guys doing it when they would sometimes. I go, no, you can't do it unless you're contested, because they would do it because they wanted the Gatorade. Like, okay.
Right, yeah. Well, the one I actually been teaching a lot the last few months is the stride stop, or stride hop. Right,
yep.
It's just because one, especially with boys, I always say to the boys, what do boys want to do? They just want to block the shot, right? Looks good in front of their mom or their girlfriend in the stands.
Yep.
Right. So if you look like you're going up, they're up in the air, try to block the shot. You get a foul, you land on 2 feet, and then you finish with your layup. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice layup finish, especially for boys. Not to say that girls don't want to do that, but I definitely in the boys game, you see, because they just want to jump and block the shot all the time. Right.
Yeah,
girls, girls, but I've been teaching to my girls teams, period. I mean, we've been working on it, just to fake like you're going up for that 1-footed layup, and you come down on 2, and it's a nice strong finish.
I like that.
Because our girls were fading away all the time on the finish,
and they weren't getting it. Yeah,
and it wasn't going in. They didn't want to get the contact. So here it's 2 foot, stop, and then get the contact and go up. You'll be in a much better position. Okay, that was a lot of discussion. We loved it. So we love the 2-footed layup.
We do. I was looking at our clock. If we take this much time on the other 9, we're gonna be
okay.
Here.
We gotta go. We were gonna be here for all night. All right. One more pass. Number 2 is one more pass. Make one more pass.
And what do you mean by just like make the extra pass kind of thing?
Make one pass. More. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Make the extra pass, right? To keep the defense honest, moving, and just passing in general, I would say, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That's way undertaught. Passing way undertaught
as a pass. Yes. Yeah. And to understand the concept of that one extra pass, right? Watch the Warriors. They make that one extra. Now, I don't want to compare youth teams to the NBA, but just swinging the ball on that extra.
Phoenix does a pretty good job of that too. Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, I go with my Dubs. And you know what? I best of both worlds right now, because I am from Wisconsin, now living in California. So I got the Bucks, and then I got the Warriors. So,
that's two pretty good teams.
Pretty good teams right now.
Two pretty good teams.
Communication. Always ABC. Always be communicating. Right. Teaching how to talk and being vocal on the court.
And that's a hard. I mean, we should do a whole podcast on communication. We should at the youth level. It is tough, but it is definitely undertaught.
At every level, it's tough. Yeah.
Yes, at every level. The good ones do it kind of naturally, I think. But I think that's something we should put that in our list, because I think that would be a good how to teach communication to youth players or youth. I mean. It will trickle up and it will make them better. So I would, of the ones we've listed so far, this would be right under that 2-footed jump shot, because it's a skill that's going to help them outside of basketball. It's going to help them.
That's right.
In every aspect of their life. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always say too, it's like, talk loud enough that I can hear you when I'm on the sidelines. Coach, we are talking. I'm like, no, I don't think you are. Maybe you are, but I bet your teammates can't hear you.
Yep. And if I can't hear you, then it's not loud enough.
Yeah.
And I'm old. Yes.
That's right. All right. Teaching. So on the offensive side, reading closeouts.
Okay. Reading closeouts.
Yeah.
Dive into that.
So always assume, and especially at the youth level, right? Always assume everything is a drive until it's not. Right? Drive, because they all want to shoot the threes, right? And then read the closeout. Where's that defender coming from, right? Long closeouts.
Yep.
Right? Drive.
Yep.
Short closeouts, you shoot. So
I like that.
If you can't shoot it or drive it, move it.
That's a breakdown. That's a practice breakdown.
That's
thing,
that's a practice breakdown thing, right?
It
goes to that pass. If you don't have the shot, boom, pass it.
And I'm not ripping on the seventh grade dad that's never coached before, but he's not doing that.
No.
He's not doing that.
No,
or the mom that's teaching, coaching her fourth grade daughter or son's team. They're not doing that. And that is. That's why it's probably an undertaught skill. Yeah, you're right. That read is not being taught.
Yeah. This one, this is another one that's not being taught enough. And when we do our clinics, we could literally, if it would sell, which I know it wouldn't, because if you just teach ball screens and how to read ball screens, you could take, I have to stop myself in practice with my high school team to stop, like, okay, coach, you got 10 minutes to teach how to read a ball screen. You could go on how to screen and ball screens, right? Yes. But
first of all, they don't know how to set screens. Is setting screens on one of them? Is that one on your list?
Yeah,
because that's an undertaught skill.
Let's go right into that. So
setting screens and reading screens.
Reading screens. Yep.
Those are both skills that you could we could start now until 2050 and be working on those two skills.
Yep.
The amount of reads and about how to set the screen is it's so hard, and it's undertaught because it's a hard skill.
It is, and it goes at, there's multiple reads you can do and see and look for, and
you're not going to do that with a second grader.
Not going to do that with a second grader. Absolutely not. Yeah, no. Yeah, as they get older, you definitely.
So here's my advice with this: is you should simplify.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
To one read, like you're going to switch or you're going to do one thing and get really good at it. Then you can layer it at the youth level. Obviously, an eighth grader is different than a second grader. But you don't have the time to do that as far as teaching the setting. And then teaching the setting will be easier, but you'd be surprised how hard that is to teach that skill. And then the reads off of it. I agree.
Well, and then at that you bring up a good point, which is the difference between a second grader and eighth grader. But that second through fifth, until they get used to their bodies, and they always go into the defender, and they get called for it, right? And they lean in, and they're in such a hurry, they get there and they smash into the person. So the intent is there, but you just have to work at it.
Yes.
Other one, ball handling or handling pressure, right? So I would say ball handling definitely as a younger level, but then being able to handle and get out of pressure, right?
Right.
Coaches, they just, if you go to a lot of AAU, they're doing full court press the entire game, right? Well, you got to be able to get out of that and break that press. Or even if it's a half court pressure situation, you got to know what to do versus just throwing the ball away or getting it.
And for youth coaches, especially depending on the lower levels, they don't maybe even let pressure happen until the ball. But once you get to that level, a lot of your practice should be on that, because you're working for that slob or that blob or whatever, whatever you're doing. It's not going to matter because you ain't going to get to that if you can't get the ball to half court.
Well, I think we said on the previous podcast too, is like, what skills would you teach? Ball handling at what level? Every level? How much? A lot. Right. Doesn't matter, right? Just ball handling, and obviously as you get older, the pressure becomes a lot more, so you can do a lot more. But even at the youth level, if they can't dribble, they're not going to be able to shoot well. Their confidence is going to sink, right? They're not going to want to play because they get the ball stolen all the time. So I say it all starts with ball handling.
Right.
and then everything, then the game just opens up to you.
And simplified ball handling would be my argument. These, you need a move and a counter move, and that's all
That's
you need.
it.
It's like,
And I teach 3 moves by the time you graduate from high school. 3 moves.
Right.
You can get 2 in. You have your primary one, and then your secondary one, and then maybe a third one.
And then you have to be competent. You have to be able to use both hands.
And you got to use them.
Yes.
That's right.
But it's like this whole like 8 that's going to. We've got last week's podcast was about trainers. You don't need 73 moves. How many? I've never seen a crossover between the in a high school game in our league, which is one of the better leagues in the state. Nobody's doing that. What are you taught? Like, no, they're not doing 6 moves when they have the ball. They're going to get doubled or balls going to get stolen or something.
Right. Yeah.
All right. How many is that, Coach? I've been losing count.
I don't know. I think we got 8 in there, 9 in there, 9.
Okay.
It's 9 so far. So because we actually elaborated on a couple that I didn't specifically say.
Okay.
But okay, the last one. This is one for the coaches, which is be better teachers. Right. So be better teachers. We talk about this a lot, which is come in prepared. Yeah. Right. Simplify and make it sure it's age appropriate. So if you're coaching 2nd grade versus 8th grade, just make sure it's age appropriate. Simpler, the better. You don't need to teach a lot of things. Just go deep in a few things.
Right. Make them competent in a few things, like ball handling, like we were just talking about. Make them good at that. Yep. That will build the confidence. And then, all right. So you want to summarize these, Coach? Because I'm old. I don't have
I should have. I think I missed a few, but we added a few. 2-foot finishes.
Okay.
Right. Yep. They make the extra pass or passing in general. So again, these are all under-taught skills.
Okay.
Communicating.
Yep.
Reading closeouts and think drive mentality first until it's not there. Right. Yep.
We're at 4. For the people watching, I'm at 4. I'm counting for them. Screens and reading screens is
reading screens.
5 and 6.
Oh, we missed this. Handling pressure.
Handling pressure 7.
We missed a few here. The last one was for the coaches, which is be a good teacher.
Okay, we're at 8. So
one of the more important.
Okay, keep going to
them. Defense.
Okay.
On-ball defense, right, and being how to defend and how to do help defense too. I don't think that's taught.
Where to be? Like we're talking about youth.
That's
where to be? Like where does your hand go? Where does your body go? How do you rotate? Okay, that's a very good one. You get a defense / offense kind of. That could be 9. Yep. All right. What's 10?
Yeah. And then I would say this is a big one too. It's like, I always tell my kids, you're going to mess up. You're going to make a mistake. But you know what? In the game of basketball, you got to move on because you'll have 100 more times to do what you just messed up on because it moves so quickly. Forget about it. Just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you're a bad player. Right. Move on. I don't care. Steph Curry makes mistakes.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I love sitting and watching a game with them. Look at all the mistakes that are made. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, everybody. So as a coach and as a youth coach, know
that it's going to be more. There's going to be more.
Right. There's going to be more. Yeah, absolutely. You just got to have the patience as the coach and teach them. Again, coaching is teaching, and you help them handle mistakes. That's your job. Right. That's your job, is to teach them how to handle a mistake.
Yes.
And I always say, if we're not making mistakes, we're not growing. Right.
It's your mistake response. We refer to it in our program.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
What's your mistake response? Like is it putting your head down? Is it slamming the ball? Is it yelling at the official? And I'll tell them my mistake response is not always good, guys, and I'm working on it. But what is your mistake response? Because you need to have one before it happens. Mm-hmm. Like, is it 3 deep breaths? Is it go find a teammate and give them a high five? What is it? But it's not yelling at the officials, slamming the ball down, blah, blah, blah. So, and as a teacher and as a coach, you should have a mistake response. And we were talking about everybody, and we put it in our notebooks at the high school level. But with the youth, you could sit down and say, hey, what's your mistake response? Because to be honest with you, if you can teach them that skill, it's going to help them not only in life, but in basketball. So,
and ours is win. What's important now?
Yeah.
Let's move on. What's important right now? I made a mistake. Okay, now what? What's
It's
important
goldfish
now?
for me. When I was a little league coach, it was goldfish.
Oh, really? Goldfish?
Because they have a 6-second memory or 4-second memory.
Oh.
So I just yell out goldfish, and they'd look at me like they'd all know what it meant, but it's like, boom,
Yeah.
I should have called it Dora. What was the fish?
Dora.
Dora. In
Dora.
saving,
That was one of them.
Saving Nemo.
Yeah, Nemo. Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a while since I've watched cartoons, so I'm not up to.
So, coaches, the message here, the takeaway is teach these things in your practice. Break them down, make it age appropriate.
Teach them. All right. Thanks, Coach. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.